Titanfall 2 and Infinite Warfare, the two futuristic games we got at the end of 2016, near the end of 2016. They both have their, they're both some of the best futuristic games we've got. They both have their pros and their cons, and in this video, that's what we're going to be pointing out today. There are two similarities I do want to point out about both these games, is that both of them do have boost jumps, and they both have futuristic weapons, and they both have their own futuristic weapons. So now we're going to talk about Infinite Warfare a little bit here, about its pros and its cons on its side, and then we'll do that for Titanfall 2. So Infinite Warfare, pros and cons for the game itself. One of the pros is it's a Call of Duty game, so it gets its own promotion from just being Call of Duty game. The pros I'm going to focus on right now, is, if you guys want to comment down any other pros, the pros I'm focusing on is that they tried. Infinity Ward tried to make a good game for their fans, and they tried to bring back their old multiplayer that everybody loved. They tried even doing their own zombies, which I wasn't a big fan of. A lot of the zombies community, I guess, wasn't a big fan of, but they tried. That's what matters. They tried to bring back, they tried to do a good campaign that people loved. Like, it was definitely not as good as MW2, Modern Warfare Remastered, all those campaigns, but they tried. Now, it reminds me, and a pro is, it reminds me a lot of Black Ops 3. I really liked Black Ops 3, and that's actually why we're getting into the cons, is because this game is too much like Black Ops 3. The multiplayer, the zombies, it's just the boost jumps in multiplayer are the exact same as Black Ops 3. They're literally the same. The zombies, they literally just brought zombies back from Black Ops 3 over because they knew that they wouldn't get as much, it wouldn't get as much playtime without zombies or some sort of thing like that. But that was the pros and cons of Infinite Warfare. Let's get into the pros and cons of Titanfall 2. Okay, so now time for the pros and cons of Titanfall 2. Pros and cons of Titanfall 2. The pros. So the pros are, Titanfall 2 is one of my favorite futuristic games so far. Just the aspect of it being, bringing in Titans and being able to, all these sorts of weapons and grenades that I've never seen before in a game. It's something good, and all these like different classes. They're not specialists, but you get like a grappling hook or other, like a healing, a stim, like an adrenaline shot or something like that. Something that'll heal you a bit. It's thing, and it takes a second for it to reload. And the fact that you get like a boost, where you can get like these ticker grenades that follow and then go kill some, or like a boost in your ammo, making your ammo stronger. Also, Titanfall 2 did change from Titanfall. They did actually add a single player campaign. Titanfall did not. It was, you had to play multiplayer to do the campaign, which I didn't really understand, but that's also a pro for Titanfall 2. It was just different than any futuristic game I've played. And it being that's what made the game amazing for me, is that it was different. It had all sorts of game modes that I didn't recognize, such as like attrition, which is the one I'm playing in the gameplay behind me. It adds like grunts, like minions from, like, let's say League of Legends or something like that, minions, where they're non-playable characters, but you can still kill them. And then you're also playing on multiplayer with other sorts of players. And then that's pretty much for the pros, is that's one of the best futuristic games I've ever played, with all sorts of different types of game modes I've never played. Now let's get into the cons. The cons of Titanfall 2 is pretty much the same as Infinite Warfare, is that this game is very much like Titanfall. I played Titanfall for maybe 30 minutes at the most because I did not have an Xbox for very long. Titanfall was fun. I liked it. I only played it for a little bit, like I said, like 30 minutes to an hour, and that was at a friend's house. And then, just looking at Titanfall 2, the graphics weren't more improved from the first one. They still have the same movement, wall running, Titans, different Titans though, they have different Titans, but the melee weapons are pretty much, the melee hits are still pretty much the same. The cons for Infinite Warfare and Titanfall 2 are pretty much the same, is that they represent their last games in the series, and that's the pros and cons of Titanfall 2. So I'm gonna end the video now. So I hope you guys enjoyed. This video was fun to make, of me going to record both of these games and see what's different about them. And playing both of them and getting footage for both of them, I realized that they weren't very different. They were actually a lot alike. Like, they're both futuristic. Their cons are the same, where they're both the same as their last game in the series. But they both bring stuff that you don't see very often to the table. Infinite Warfare, you see, they have tons of game modes you can play. You have zombies, you have like a dozen or more. You have a dozen or more game modes you can play. Infected, Frontline, Team Deathmatch, Search and Destroy. Those are just a few I can name. And it brought to the table a lot of game modes that you can play. Other than Titanfall 2, it brought big mechs that you can use with big guns and different, not specialists, but like different ways of movement, different boost jump, you know, a grappling hook, stim shot, all sorts of stuff like that. But I hope you guys enjoyed Titanfall 2 versus Infinite Warfare. This isn't a game to hate on either, it's just a game to put the pros and cons into perspective for you viewers and see which futuristic game you enjoy better. So hope you guys enjoyed. I'm Sonic7, I'll see you guys in the next video of this, and what do I do? I'm out.